Some days are just better than others. Today we've had a delivery from our friends at Callaway, and as you can see, it is a brand new set of their 2025 irons. Guys, today we are talking Callaway Elyte irons. Now there are three irons in this lineup. They are the Elyte irons, the Elyte HL, the high launch, and of course, the Elyte X irons. Today we're going to focus on what I think are some of the better looking irons in the lineup, even that one that we've dropped on the floor. And I think these, they have one kind of gigantic problem that we do need to address. But they also look very, very good, and they're also quite reasonably priced for a set of brand new high-end 2025 irons. You see, I've been looking online at these already, and you can actually get them discounted already from some of the websites. I don't know if that's right or not, but so today we're going to talk about what tech's in these irons. We're going to talk about how they look, how they feel, how they sound, and of course, more importantly, how they feel. So what tech is in these irons, and why could these potentially be the best irons for you to try in 2025? You see, initially what I want to talk about is how compact these, yeah, Bobby's going ooh behind the camera because they do look really good. Usually when Callaway or TaylorMade or any of the big brands release an iron range that sits within a driver family name, for me, they're just like a set of rental clubs. The big problem these irons have, we'll get to slightly later in this video, but straight away, and we'll put some close-ups on screen so Bobby isn't coming in and out, but these look so good down at the ball. They look as good, I dare say, as the kind of Apex range. I've set as a green out here at 150 yards. I've got the 9 iron, so it's going to have to be big, but with all the tech that's in these clubs, I dare say we should be able to just about get there. Straight away, that felt really, really good. And one of the things that Callaway have done here with these brand new Elyte irons, look at that. 149.5 bob, 7,000 spin, slightly low on the spin element. But one thing Callaway have done with these irons is they have jam-packed them full of urethane microspheres. Try saying that quickly. So basically, it's a much bigger kind of internal structure to allow them to jam-pack them full of that urethane. They also have a speed frame construction, so that is a stiffer construction all the way around the head, even on the top line, and that almost gives you kind of a jailbreak effect, so a little bit more kind of forgiveness on those off-center hits. We're going to keep talking tech as we go in this video, but the big thing that I really enjoyed on that first shot and on that second one is there was a club twirls inside. That's pathetic, isn't it? But that honestly felt absolutely fantastic. Again, spin element exactly the same. That one's dropped a little bit. It was a touch Heeley, but I'm really pleased that the spin and the ball speed have stayed relatively consistent. So what's the big problem for these clubs, and why do I think that was a terrible strike? If that carries like 140, it's done really, really well. 140. Releasing out to 150. For me, a 9-iron number is about 140, so it shows just how far these can potentially go if you do hit them well. But why do I personally think these might be the most overlooked irons of the year? I think we could well be doing a video similar to this, kind of towards Christmas. Imagine saying Christmas, just after Christmas, saying these are the most overlooked irons, because Callaway have got quite a lot of irons in the lineup, haven't they? Quite a lot of irons for sale, and the Apex irons are absolutely fantastic. How good did that sound, Bob? The reason why that sounds so good, see, that's that kind of 150 carry again, 150.8. So at least I know here that the good carry's 150, the bad one's 140. They're releasing out ever so slightly. Now, when it comes to tech in these clubs, we also have that V-sole construction. So you can see there, it's almost like a kind of three-way construction. It looks really, really nice. You get lots of kind of better turf interaction. If it wasn't thick snow here, then we might be able to test them outside. Let's go one more with the 9. We're going to work our way through this set. I honestly can't believe how good these look and feel. That's a terrible strike. Again, if that carries kind of 140, I don't think it will, that one. That was a duff. 135, not too bad. But if we do have a look at some of the other clubs in the lineup, so as you do get through these clubs, you can see that we start to see that kind of V-sole a little bit clearer there. What do you reckon there, Bob? Speak up.
They look nice.
Yeah, they do look nice, don't they, Rob? See, just let your feelings known and then we can all kind of move on with it. But they almost look, do you remember the Fusion irons?
Yeah.
They almost look similar to that to me. And I quite like that. I like how sleek they look, I like how stylish they look, and I like how sexy they look. Alliteration. It's the future, Bob, isn't it? And the past. Stay here. How far for a 7, Rob, are we saying? 160.
You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy, pal. Right. Honestly, I quite often in the past, I've left videos like this till much later on in the year, like a lot later on in the year, because it just doesn't excite me too much. The Apex irons absolutely excite me loads, and when it comes to like TaylorMade, the P series irons excite me loads, but then when it comes to like the Q whatever or the Elyte or whatever, they don't really kind of, I don't get it. I never get it, because I think you've put all that time and effort into such as the Apex, why bother? But I don't necessarily think that's the case this year with these. I think these just look really, really good. They're almost Apex-like, but packaged to maybe be a little bit more forgiving, maybe be a little bit different. Right, 170. I think we could carry this maybe. That's toey. It's toey. It's still managed 6,000 spin. It's still in the air at 150, 161, 168. And so one thing I'll say here is I've read a lot of reviews on these already because they're already out, and I've also watched Coach Lockie and the Biarritz on screen, and they had a really good conversation about these, and I took a lot from it. And so what the guys from Callaway were saying, Lockie, Owen, he's the sponsor's dream, by the way, isn't he? Is that if you do strike them out the toe, you still generate kind of ball speed, spin rate, and all the rest. And I found with that potentially is helping quite nicely with it. So the 10 times data points that you are getting from this face, basically Callaway have kind of thrown it into the supercomputer and said, right, we've got X amount of sweet spots, but how many more sweet spots can we have? And again, kind of working with that speed frame construction, that's really helping you get the forgiveness that we all want. I think if I hit a good one, it could be a 180 carry. I really do with this 7. But you still want to maintain the spin, don't you? That's toey again. Toey again, it's still spinning at 6,000. It's a little bit left, but I really don't mind. It's a 172 carry out of the toe. I think these could be dangerous. The one thing that you'd worry about is potentially, well, how many wedges do you need? You can get a gap wedge in the set, so that will cover that for you. And I know a lot of people will be in the comments right now, and you guys might well be one of them, saying, yeah, but what are the lofts? The lofts are strong. Yes, the lofts are strong, but you still want to hit a 7.9 instead of a 6, don't you? Like, realistically, you do. And I think that's where we look at potentially how the tech helps you manage the ball flight as well as the loft. That's a good one. That's a good one. And the spin is exactly the same on the good and the bad one. And it's carried 176. It's carried, is that exactly the same? 176, 176 with 5,800 spin. Do it again, right. That's bottomy. So that's bottomy, and the spins, yeah, it's going to be up, isn't it? 6,000, that's right. 178, 175. This is really, really interesting. It's really, really impressive, actually. And I feel like I've not potentially done the technology that's in these irons justice, because we spent a lot of time talking about how they look. Now, I think how an iron looks is really, really important. Not only how it looks on the shelf, if you're going to come in and potentially buy them, but how it looks in the bag. And I think that looks really nice. Like, it doesn't look like a game improvement iron. Obviously, we do have the X generation of these and the HL generation of these. But for me, this is a really nice middle ground for kind of, I think you can get them for like £800. I don't think that's unreasonable, to be honest, at all for a set of Callaway irons. Look at that, Bob. That's the best one I've hit. That's spinning at 6.6, and it's that 170 carry again. So the better ones are actually shorter because I'm getting the spin element on them. Let's go one more. Should we try like a proper low-flighted knuckleball? Because they're the shots that maybe you can't necessarily do. Stop it. Stop it. Is that a 174? Because if it is, we're going home. 177. Let's get the 4-iron out. Let's see just how forgiving the long irons are as well. But so far, so good. So the longest iron you can go up to in these Callaway Elyte irons is, of course, the 4-iron, because nobody's going to get a 3-iron anymore, are they really? How far can this go? Because together with that speed frame technology, together with that 10 times optimized smart face, and of course, with that kind of 3-way V-sole, what can we expect to see from this 4-iron? I think the 7-iron on a miss hit was going 174, so the 6-iron 185, 5-iron 195, maybe kind of 210 with a good one with this, would you say, Bob? potentially. Let's see. So a little bit more offset as soon as you get into the longer irons. I don't think that's a bad thing for the kind of demographic, the target audience, the type of golfer. I've just listed the same thing 3 times there, haven't I? That these irons are going to be made for. I think I might hit it slightly left. You can start to see a little bit more of that head as well behind it. But again, for the kind of golfer that this is for, I think that's going to fill you a little bit more with confidence. So I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing at all. Oh, that's such a bad hit. That is a bad, bad hit. It's toey again. And the big premise around it kind of dampening the vibrations of this with that kind of speed frame, that felt bad. Like it was there. It didn't feel very good. I mean, I dare say it felt a little bit better than maybe it could, but still got 198 yards at 3,900 spin. Crazy, crazy. Come on, let's have a good swing. That's toey again. So one of the big elements about if you are going to spend the money on these clubs is, of course, going to get fitted. So these aren't far from my specs. We have Velocore S-Flex 90 gram in these by True Temper, and these are standard lie angle. Again, it's gone 195 yards. It's only carried kind of 178. Let's try and launch a 4-iron a little bit better here. There we go. You see how fast that came off the face? Again, it's gone a little bit left. Look how far that's going. That's 215 carries, 230 yards total. Yes, there is a big difference between the bad toey one I've hit. I mean, there's like 30, 40 yards carry difference, isn't there? And that's maybe something which, is the technology going to save a really bad golf shot? I don't think it's ever going to be the case, is it? Is it going to help you with marginal gains? I think we can certainly tick that box. For me, for a 4-iron of this design to still spin at 3,500, carry well over 210 yards, and of course run out to 230. Can we straighten that up? You can see how that offsets just, I mean, it's obviously me, but it does just make me potentially want to do that and kind of leave it open. That wasn't a good strike, but it's up there. That's pitching near 200 and rolling over 200 yards. What I quite like about this is when I am testing irons like this inside, I like to hit these kind of shots. I like to hit the bad shots. A lot of people in the comments will go, you only hit bad shots. And that's fine. But if you are going to buy these irons, you're not going to necessarily be the person who's in the market for a set of MBs, for a set of blades, for the Tiger Woods irons or the Xander Schauffele irons, if we keep it on brand with Callaway. Right, that is absolutely outrageous. That is outrageous. It's exactly the same, 214, 230 total. So if I sort my golf game out, I know what the distance is going to be, like to the point something of a yard. But I also know what it's going to be if I put an absolute dog swing on it like I've just been doing there. Probably will bleep that out because it's not really fair. But what do we think to these irons? To be honest, I'm really impressed. I didn't expect to be. What's the big issue that these irons are going to have in 2025? It's the Callaway Apex AI 200s. Because if you are in the market for a set of Callaways, how good's that? 216, and that spun more.
Yes, sir.
You're probably going to be looking at the Apex, aren't you? And again, I have that argument with myself every year when we see these irons, but these are a little bit cheaper, and I think they look just as good, which is the first time ever I've said that about a set of irons like this. Right, I've hit that a long way. It's gone left, but watch this run now. Go on. Very impressive. Well done, Callaway. Well done.